Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video of BBS second year macroeconomics classical theory of unemployment chapter 3. This is the part 2 where we will be discussing about the JBC law and what you mean by supply creates its own demand. So this law has been named after the French economics JBC, who was the very famous and very famous 19th century economics. According to him, supply creates its own demand. When goods are produced, income is generated in form of rent, wages and salaries, interest, profit, two factors of production, where people purchase or people use that income to purchase the goods and services, and thus supply creates its own demand. Here I had just explained how it works, and additionally there the general overproduction and general unemployment cannot arise. I would explain this equation, I will explain this theory in the further video. First of all, let's understand what do you mean by supply creates its own demand. So he meant that when we produce the goods, then obviously we supply that, so you can refer production as a supply. So when goods are produced, income is generated in the form of wages and salaries, interest, profit, rent, and it is the factors of production. We know land, labor, capital, organization, where land is referred as you know rent, labor means wages and salaries, capital means interest, and organization means profit. So in these terms, when people would have their salary, uh, you know have their salary, and like income is generated in the form of all these rent, wages and salaries, so they would use this same money to purchase that goods. So like they will produce the goods, and when there will be the supply increase in the market, then at the same time it has the assumption which is self-adjusting economy. If supply increases, then the demand increases. And how demand increases? When people have that income, they will use that income in order to have that theory come true. They will purchase all the goods and services which is provided in the economy. It is usually happen, because of this assumption and the implication of this JVC law. We will discuss about that. So to understand it wisely, you just gotta remember that like the pro, production after comes income, income after demand, and then sale of goods. Like production, if you have then income through you can purchase. you know Purchase means you will purchase it, so there will be more demand, so here comes the demand. And lastly, sale of the goods. This is, if these terms you understand, then you can explain this theory critically. So here the assumptions are listed below. Now I'm gonna say each point. Where number one is no government intervention, where the government operates, the economy operates without government, without their intervention. There not even a minimum government intervention in an entire economy, according to the assumption. Okay, number two, closed economy. There is no foreign trade. The so like only domestic demand and supply exist in the market, according to the assumption of JBC law. And the number three is money is the only medium of exchange. It's said that money is only meant for the transaction and is not hoarded. HOARD, hoarded means you cannot save the money in terms, but HOARDING, hoarding means where you are saving the money, you are not using that money in order to do some activity, in order to purchase anything. You are just saving that money at your bank account. But hoarded means you are not gonna save that money, you are gonna use that money significantly when it is necessary. So number four is saving is equal to investment, where saving, all the saving are automatically converted into the investment, according to it. We will be further talking about this topic in other video. For now, let's just understand, saving is equals to investment. It means that if you do saving, then generally at future you will be using the same saving as an income in order to complete this theory, like in order to state this theory true. And it's the assumption of this theory, and whenever there is any theory in any economics, anywhere, there must be assumption. Like if these assumptions aren't there, then there won't be any theory. And in at like the if you look after the exam point of view, if you write all down this theory with an explanation of few lines with main critique points, then it will be really helpful for your exam paper answer question pattern. You can gain a lot of marks. It depends on the examiner or tutor who is gonna check your exam paper sheet. But yeah, assumption is really important. Most of the people just write down the assumption point and they just left it behind, but that's not the way how you do. You gotta explain those assumptions, then you can engage more marks for your exam. And just come back to the number last assumption, which is flexible wages and price. Wages and prices are flexible. We all know, like when wages and prices are flexible, there is a full employment. And how does it happen? Suppose that, like there is a unemployment. Suppose unemployment arise, and now we need to fix that. And this theory said that if unemployment is there, then there is a unemployment, like there is a full employment. If wages and prices are flexible, there is a full employment. So how does it happen? Like if wages is suppose unemployment arise and wage rate decreases, firm will hire more people, so it will generally enhance the working of the people. They will hire more people, and when they hire more people, then it will increase the unemployment. It becomes stable. So this is how it is done. Like even if there we saw unemployment, then it is just for so it's like it's just temporary. It will just disappear after some time, because it follows the wages and prices and flexible, this assumption. So due to that, prices are flexible. And now let's move to the implication of JBC law of market. So according to him, there are 5 implications, which is self-adjusting economy, policy implication, no general overproduction, no general unemployment, and lastly, uh, flexible wages creates full employment, as I just talked in the assumption, and it is now studied in the implication. So it's very easy to understand. Self-adjusting economy means the economy which adjusts itself automatically. Suppose when supply increase, demand increase. So this is the adjustment takes place between them. And yeah, it's just an implication. And implication means the conclusion that comes after the theory. Okay, likewise this theory states that supply creates its own demand, and now here is this implication. You can take it as a conclusion which is coming after this theory. What did it state? And now number 2 point is no general overproduction. It means that the general overproduction is not possible. Even if there is overproduction, we certainly see in the market. So out of nowhere, we see the income which is generated in form of wages and salaries, rent, interest, profit. It will also increase. Then when it increase, there will be people will be using that same income in order to purchase goods and services, and thus the production creates its own demand. Like overproduction cannot arise. And number 3 point is no general unemployment. The general unemployment is not possible. Even if there is unemployment, it is temporary and it disappears after sometimes. Like example, if wage rate decreases, obviously people firm will hire more and the unemployment cannot arise. Flexible wages creates full employment, because wages and prices are flexible. Due to that, it will automatically move towards the full employment. As in the third point, we can also give in the same example to this point where wages decrease, unemployment increase. Employment increase. firm and company, offices hire more, then obviously employment will fully restored. And the last one is policy implication. It means that what government should do, like according to this implication, as I said in the assumption, no government intervention, they're not in a not even a minimum government intervention according to this law. And what does the conclusion means? Implication says policy implication, what government should do. There is no need of government intervention based and there is no need of government intervention in this economy. The economy works really well when there is when the market is left free, and the economy works really well. Like example, instead of government fixing the economy, let the market adjust its own self. So it's like, there is no government intervention. As an explanation you can add, and based away the market, if is it left free, then it will work more nicely. And now let's come to the criticism, where it has got its 3 points, which is supply doesn't create its own demand, money is demanded more than the transaction, and lastly is economy doesn't adjust automatically. So here, what you mean by economy doesn't adjust automatically? As we know that wages and prices are not perfectly flexible, perfectly flexible. If they aren't perfectly flexible, then obviously we will see the general unemployment overall across the country. And number 2 point, money is demanded more than the transaction. As we know, money is not only for the investment. People can save or hold their money, at with themselves, or just do the fixed deposit. So they might not invest at anything, due to that. Due to that. It might not matches the supply. So like when supply increase, it is said that the demand also increase, right? But if it happens, if money is more than the transaction, then obviously there will be some loopholes where we will see, like if money is saving, if people are saving money, and if supply is rising and they are not buying that thing, they are not purchasing, then obviously it doesn't match the statement of JBC. Then it's also one of the criticism. And lastly is supply creates its own demand. In real life, production doesn't create its own demand, supply doesn't create its own demand, and it is not possible, because for all the goods, it's like for all the goods, there can be overproduction and unemployment. Like as we see, like there could be overproduction and unemployment in the market. Alright guys, I don't want to discuss about this topic at all. I think I'm done. So yeah, in this video we have discussed about the implication of JBC law, criticism, assumption, and its definition. So I hope you will love this video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.